Peace, blessings, and abundance, everyone. Welcome back to Sacred Birth Sessions. I am Jessica Pierre, and every week we have honest conversations about pregnancy, birth, advocacy, and preparing for one of life's biggest transformations. My goal is simple, and that's to help you feel informed, grounded, and confident when that moment comes for you. Now, before we jump in, I would love to hear from you. If you have a birth story, a topic that you'd like me to cover, a birth question, or anything like that, please send me a listener letter at connect@sacredbirthsessions.com, and I might just feature your letter in a future episode. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's get into today's session. So one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, how do I know if I've chosen the right provider? And I think that's such an important question, because what most people find when they find out that they're pregnant, the first thing that they do is try to schedule an appointment, right? But very few people stop to ask themselves, is this someone I can actually trust? And sometimes we assume that because someone has letters behind their name, they automatically would be the right fit for us. But over the years and attending births, I've learned a lot of things. And what I've learned is the best provider for one family may not be the best provider for another. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about what I have learned personally after sitting in exam rooms, labor rooms, operating rooms, and even postpartum rooms with so many different families. Now, I remember supporting one family who came to me feeling overwhelmed. And it's not because they were having any complications and not because anything was technically medically wrong, but it was just because every appointment left them feeling rushed. You know, they would leave the office and immediately think, like, I forgot to ask this, I forgot to ask that. And I still don't understand why they recommended certain things, is what they told me. So by the time they called me, they weren't looking for someone to tell them what decisions to make. They just wanted someone to help them process what they were hearing. So this particular family they were on their second baby. Their first baby was about a year and a half old. And they were told that their current pregnancy, their baby was experiencing FGR, which is fetal growth restriction. And basically meaning baby was smaller than they would have liked him to be. And mom couldn't understand why they were making such a big deal about it, because mom was like 4 foot something. She was really small. She was really tiny. Dad wasn't much bigger. And even when they were born as small babies, 4 pounds and change, or whatever the case may be. So they didn't feel like anything was necessarily wrong. You know, knowing that their baby might be a little bit smaller was fine to them, but they were like, why are we making such a big deal about this? So one afternoon, we all sat together and just talked, not about what they should do, but simply about what questions they wanted answered. So we wrote them all down. We talked through all of their concerns. We even practiced how they might ask those questions at their next appointment. Nothing dramatic, nothing confrontational, no argument, no anything. So I actually went to their next appointment with them. And when we went in, they were able to ask all the questions on the list. Some of them, you got pushed back because they had to see a specialist, a maternal fetal medicine specialist. So they got some like weird answers, to be completely honest, or weird to them. And after the visit, mom looked at me and said something that I will never forget. She said, "I finally feel like I was a part of my own appointment." That sentence has stayed with me ever since, and this was almost 2 years ago. Simply because that's what every parent deserves. And that's just to feel like they're participating, not just being spoken to. One of the biggest myths that I hear when choosing a provider is it's just a one-time decision, and quite frankly, it's not. Every appointment is an opportunity to build trust. Just ask yourself, like, do I feel hurt? Do I feel rushed? Can I ask questions without feeling embarrassed? When I do leave, do I understand what was discussed? And if the answer is no, it's okay to pause and reflect. Sometimes the issue isn't the provider. Sometimes it is communication or lack thereof. Sometimes it's needing to ask more questions. And sometimes it's honestly realizing that you deserve care from a team that's a better fit. You can fire your provider. Because at the end of the day, choosing a provider isn't about finding someone who's perfect. It's honestly about finding someone who respects you enough to have a conversation with you. That honestly takes me back to when I was pregnant with my son. I went to an OB practice where every single appointment I saw a different OB. So I didn't have time to make the connection with certain OBs. There was one that I really liked, and I really wish that she was able to deliver my son, but she happened to be on call the day after I delivered, so it didn't happen. I actually got a male OB who delivered my son. He actually did my mom's hysterectomy a few years before, which was crazy. But it also takes me back to when my son was born. Like, at 20 years old, I didn't know that I had to choose a pediatrician for him. It just wasn't something that was ever talked about or taught or anything like that. So once I had him, they gave me like this phone book listing of all of these providers, and I kind of just went down and saw which one was closest to me, and I chose one. He came to the hospital to evaluate my son. Cool, that was fine. And then when it was time to take him to the actual pediatrician's office, a couple days later or a week later, we went to the office. Number one, it was packed, so everybody and their mom was going there. Number two, when we did get back into the room and he did come in, he came in, he didn't sit down. He assessed, he did what he had to do, and he was getting ready to walk out. And I'm like, wait, I am a first-time mom. Like, can you sit? Like, I got questions that need to be answered. So he came back in and answered a couple questions, and then he got up to leave again. I'm just like, sir, I know you have other people to see, but I have questions. I need to understand what I'm doing. This is my first baby. I didn't have the support that I feel like I needed, and so I needed questions answered. I didn't even know what questions to ask, but I know I needed more information than what he was giving me. So at the end of the day, I decided to look for another provider, and someone told me about their child's pediatrician, and I looked into that one and took my son there, and my son stayed with that pediatrician from the time he was about 2 weeks old to until he turned 18. So again, you can change your provider if absolutely necessary. I felt the need to do so, and I'm glad that I did, because the provider that I chose the second time around, like I said, he stayed with him for his entire childhood. And that particular provider always came in. He always sat down. He always asked questions. He always gave me an opportunity to ask questions. He answered questions. He was available if I called and I needed anything, because my son actually had asthma from very young, like a couple weeks old. And so, I had to get nebulizers and albuterol and all types of stuff for pretty much a newborn, and he did everything. My son also had an umbilical hernia that he needed surgery on 2 separate occasions. So all of that, was handled by this one pediatrician, and that was amazing. So choose the right provider for you and your family. So on the other hand, here's a few questions I encourage families to think about. Number 1, do I feel safe asking questions? Number 2, does my provider explain recommendations in a way that I understand? Like, let's just say you're pregnant and they're like, okay, let's go ahead and induce you. Sometimes providers just want to induce you just because you're getting close to your due date, and they just want to kind of help you get through this, because sometimes at the end of pregnancies, moms are like, what can we do to get this baby out? Sometimes there's other recommendations, but if they recommend that they want to do an induction, sometimes it's because of high blood pressure, or sometimes it's because of something going on. So sometimes there are valid reasons, but then sometimes they're just like, all right, you want to get this baby out? Cool. Let's start this process. So make sure that they explain so that you understand what their recommendations are. Number 3, do I feel listened to, or do I feel rushed? Again, with my story, I definitely felt rushed. So I decided to change the provider. I didn't even give him another opportunity to rush me out of the door. I've learned over the years that when people show you who they are, please believe them the first time. Do what you need to do to make better choices for you and your family. Number 4, are my values and preferences being respected, even if they differ from my provider? So your provider, I always say this, OBs and midwives, they sometimes have different thought processes when it comes to labor and delivery. And you might want to go have an unmedicated birth. Now, if you have an OB, certain OBs are like, no, labor is painful, so you're going to need the epidural, so you should get it. And you're like, no, I'm aware. I prefer not to have an epidural. Actually, I did have a client who chose not to get an epidural, of course, beforehand. She didn't want to get an epidural, mainly because she had scoliosis. And her OB was like, no, birth is painful, so you're going to need it. We'll set you up and just in case. And she's like, no, I don't want it. I'm aware I don't want it. And he's like, no, every appointment. He's like, well, you should get it. You should get it. You should get it. To the point where she just was really frustrated. She just let him talk and do his thing, but she made up her mind that she didn't want it. So again, make sure that they may not have to agree with your thought process, but that they respect it. And number 5, when I leave my appointments, do I feel more confident or do I feel confused? This is huge. This is huge. This is an experience that you're going through. This is experience, that your body's changing. You want to feel like you understand, because if you don't understand, that's where the fear comes into play. When you don't understand what's going on. So please make sure that they explain these things to you. And sometimes the answers to those questions tell you everything that you need to know, whether you need to continue services with this provider, change providers, change locations of where you're delivering. Because I've also had moms scheduled to deliver at a hospital and ended up changing and delivering at a birth center where it was a different environment that they wanted. So take all of that into consideration when you are deciding to choose a provider. So before we wrap up today's session, I would like to read a listener letter. All right, so this one says, "Hi Jessica, I am 18 weeks pregnant with my first baby, and everyone keeps asking me who my doctor is, but nobody has asked how I feel about my appointments. The truth is, I don't know if I feel heard. Nothing terrible has happened, but every visit feels so fast that I leave with more questions than answers. I don't want to switch providers if I'm overreacting, but I also don't want to ignore my gut and what it's telling me. How do I know the difference between normal first-time mom nerves and a provider who's just not the right fit for me?" Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for writing in. And second, you're not overreacting. Simply because you're paying attention to how you're feeling. That, number one, is your mommy's intuition. Trust isn't built in one appointment. It's built over a span of time. And if you're consistently leaving appointments feeling unheard or confused, that's worth exploring. Maybe it starts with asking more questions. Maybe it's having a conversation with your provider, like for real, like one-on-one. Can you sit down? I really have to ask you these questions to gain a better understanding. I know this is routine for you, but it's not for me. Or just maybe it's realizing that a different kind of support alongside of your provider, like a doula or a childbirth educator, that might help. The goal isn't to find someone who agrees with you all the time. It's to find someone who communicates with you and respects you at the end of the day and helps you to make those informed decisions. So I feel like if you don't feel like switching your providers, hire a doula. Go to childbirth education classes to gain some more knowledge, or to just gain some clarity from what this provider is explaining to you, so that you can have a better understanding at the end of the day. Because again, the most important thing is for you to make informed decisions when it comes to the outcome of your pregnancy, and your whole labor experience. So that's my 2 cents. All right, so if you've been listening to these sessions and thinking to yourself, I want to feel more prepared for birth, or I know somebody who wants to prepare better for birth, I would like to invite you to join the founding cohort of the Sacred Birth Blueprint. And in the Sacred Birth Blueprint, we're going to talk together. We'll focus on pregnancy, we'll focus on labor, we'll focus on advocacy and postpartum planning and overall decision making in a way that's practical for you, that's thoughtful, and most importantly, that's empowering. So if you would like to learn more, please send me an email to connect@sacredbirthsessions.com and put founding cohort in the subject line, because I would love to share more with you. So thank you so much for spending time with me. And if today's session resonated with you, if it encouraged you in any way, please share with someone who is preparing for birth. And again, if you have any questions, a birth story, or a topic that you'd like me to discuss, please don't forget to send a listener letter to the same email address, connect@sacredbirthsessions.com. And until next session, stay informed, stay grounded, trust yourself, and please remember, you deserve to feel heard. I will see you in the next session. Peace, blessings, and abundance.